Constitution thereof.
support the Constitution thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I, please state your name,
I, Jack Webb,
do solemnly and sincerely swear and affirm
do solemnly and sincerely swear and affirm
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all the duties
discharge and perform all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as District 1 Counselor, as Counselor at Large,
as Counselor at Large
for a term of 3 years,
for a term of 3 years,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeably to the rules
of this Constitution
of this Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Photos. Did you take a photo opportunity?
Jack, would you like a photo taken?
No photos of the new people?
Owen, do you have,
Sure.
take pictures of them getting sworn in?
Absolutely, if you'd like.
Sorry, it's Madam Town Clerk, would you mind taking a picture with them, please?
Got a photo for DerryCAM?
All right. So good evening, welcome to the Derry Town Council meeting for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. As you just saw, we swore in the 2 new councilors, well, 1 new council, 1 reappearing councilor. Congratulations to both of you. And welcome, Council Webb. Council Spencer, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Oh, yeah, Phelps isn't here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, roll call. Council Chiricello.
Present.
Council Webb.
Present.
Council Spencer.
Good evening.
Council Flood.
Good evening.
Council Granessi.
Good evening.
Council McGeckern.
Good evening.
And good evening from the chair and Madam Town Clerk and Town Administrator. We have roll call. We're now going to do election of officers. So do we have a nomination for council chair?
I'd like to nominate Aaron Spencer.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a nomination for Council Spencer, seconded by Councilor McGeckern. Sorry, I couldn't hear who did
Doug
it.
Flood.
Yeah,
Doug did that.
so Doug's made that nomination. So Councilor Chiricello.
Yes.
Council Webb.
Yes.
Council Spencer.
Yes.
Abstain. Council Flood.
Yes.
Council Granessi.
Yes, of course.
Councilor McGeckern.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. For the record, I set the threshold very low. It's going to make you look amazing this year, so you're welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you. All
You-
Yours.
You get your choice of gavel.
right. Oh, how exciting.
There's apparently 2.
2.
I'm not sure why there were 2, but there are apparently 2.
Break one. Oh, in case I need to throw one. Oh, sorry, my bag's all over there. You can just
I'll
kick it
keep
over
it.
there. All right, thanks. All right, well, thank you, everybody. Hopefully we'll have a great year. So moving forward, we need to elect a pro tem, so I will take nominations for the pro tem position.
Madam Chair, I would like to nominate Councilor McEachern for pro tem.
Okay, so we have a nomination for Councilor McEachern. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none. On the motion for pro tem as Councilor McEachern, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi,
Yes.
Councilor McEachern,
Yes.
Councilor Chiricello,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
and Councilor Foot.
Yes.
I got to get used to this seating arrangement. And chair votes yes. All right. And the last is we have the third signatory or secretary.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Counselor Granisi for
I'll second
third
that.
signatory.
So we have a nomination for Councilor Granisi. Is there any other nominations? All right. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granisi.
I guess yes.
Don't worry, you don't have to do much. Councilor McEachern,
Yes.
Councilor Cherichello.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
And Councilor Foot.
Yes.
All right. Just need to adjust my chair briefly, and then we'll get back. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have those seats in place, so we'll move forward to public forum. Do we have a motion to enter public forum?
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Cherichello,
Second.
second by Councilor Ganesi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public forum is open. If you have anything you'd like to address the council with, you can come up now.
Seeing none rise online, Madam Chair.
And seeing none rise here, Madam Chair, I will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to close in a second. All those in favor of close public forum?
Aye.
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 All right, consent agenda. We just have two items on there. Item 2425, to approve the non-public minutes for March 5th, 2024, and 2426, excuse me, to approve the minutes from the March 5th, 2024 meeting. There was a revised edition. The only change on it was the non-public from February 20th had been listed as sealed, and I just had that part changed. So that is all we have on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
A second by Councilor Granesi. On the consent agenda, Councilor Flood.
Yes.
Councilor Granesi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Cherichello. Councilor Webb.
Abstain.
And Councilor Foot. All right, and chair votes yes, so motion passes 601. All right, we're up to the chair's report. Just became chair 2 minutes ago, so I do not have a report prepared, but I do have a few things on our list to go over. So we need to do, I have my big book here. We have to do board and committee appointments, so we'll read through these. I can do these as a group per committee, right? As long as there's nothing else going on. Okay, so the first one is Building and Property Maintenance Committee. There were 3 openings. We had 2 applicants, so I'll make a motion to appoint Tina Guilford and Michael Welch, both to terms as a member of the Building and Property Maintenance Committee for a 1-year term to expire March 31st, 2025.
So moved.
I'll take that as a second, because I made a motion.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm
So-
not used to the chairs.
I know, I know, it's like the one
Motions.
time I'll do
Yeah,
it. I
sorry.
made a motion second by Councilor McEachern on, are there any other, do I usually ask for other nominations on here? I'm not sure what I do here.
So,
Do I usually ask if there's anybody else, or do we just, it's
Yeah, no,
just what's
whatever-
there?
whoever's
Just
there,
what's on here,
so,
okay.
yeah.
All right, so on the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Ganesi?
Yes.
Councilor McEachern?
Yes.
Councilor Cherichello?
Yes.
Councilor Webb?
Yes.
Councilor Foot?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, 7-0. Next one is Conservation Commission.
All those terms are the same.
Those are for 3 members and 2 alternates as right now, I believe. So I'll make a motion to appoint Grace Reisdorf, Robert Sporl, and Paul Dion as conservation members for a term to expire March 31st, 2027. And I move to appoint Rick Metz as an alternate member of the Conservation Commission for a term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second. I got it right this time.
Motion and seconded. On the motion, Councilor Flood? Councilor Granesi?
Yes.
Councilor McEachern?
Yes.
Councilor Cherichello?
Yes.
Councilor Webb?
Yes.
And Councilor Foot?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Passes 7-0. All right. Next up, Derry Housing and Redevelopment Authority. There's 1 opening. So I move to appoint Major Gary Thornton as a member of the Derry Housing and Redevelopment Authority for a term to expire March 31st, 2029.
Second.
All right, on the motion, Counselor Flood,
Yes.
Counselor Granessi,
Yes.
Counselor McEachern,
Yes.
Counselor Chirichillo,
Yes.
Counselor Webb,
Yes.
and Counselor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. Dairy Commerce Corridor TIF District Advisory Board, there's opening for one member. I move to appoint David Nelson as a member of the Dairy Commerce TIF Advisory Board for a term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second.
All right, motion and seconded by Councilor McEachern. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi,
Yes.
Councilor McEachern,
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo,
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
Councilor Foot,
Yes.
and chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. I feel like this is intentionally placed here to get me used to saying all these names all in a row. All right. Gateway TIF District Advisory Board, opening for one member. I move to appoint John O'Connor as a member of the Gateway TIF Advisory Board for a term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second.
All right, motion seconded by Councilor McEachern. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb,
Yes.
and Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes. For the Heritage Commission, there are 2 alternate openings for anyone in the public looking to serve on a committee. We do not have any applicants at this time, so,
Madam Chair,
yes.
may I make a suggestion? There was a new person that went, I believe, put in for an application to Derry Housing.
Yes.
Maybe we should ask them if they'd be interested in Heritage.
I think she wanted net zero.
She's doing net
task
zero.
Oh,
force.
she
Yeah,
has a
she
second one?
has-
I
yeah.
apologize. Okay.
In the last tab, Brian.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Yes, thank you.
And I think there's enough openings on net zero.
Okay,
Yeah,
if I
great.
remember correctly.
I do have her there. I did the
want to make
same
sure
thing when we went
newbies
through.
get a spot on it. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that up. All right, so Heritage, we do not have a vote because we don't have anyone.
Okay.
All right, Highway Safety Committee, appointing 6 members. So I move, these are all the same, yes. I move to appoint Scott Savard, Walter Deo, Randall Chase, Ronald Goldwaite, Jody Nelson, and James Roddy as members of the Highway Safety Committee for a term to expire March 31st, 2025.
Second.
All right, motion seconded by Councilor McEachern. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes, 7-0. Almost there. Net Zero Task Force, we had 1 member opening and 1 alternate. So I move to appoint Jeff Moulton as a member of the Net Zero Task Force for a term to expire March 31st, 2027. And Anna Greer as an alternate member of the Net Zero Task Force for a term to expire March 31st, 2026.
Second.
All right, motion seconded by Councilor Granessi. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, Planning Board, there's the Town Administrator's Representative. I move to appoint Randall Chase as the Town Administrator's Representative to the Planning Board for a term
Second.
to expire March 31st, 2025.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Chirichillo. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. And we have 2 member openings and 2 alternate openings on the planning board. We have just 2 applicants, so I move to appoint John O'Connor and Brian Fishman as members of the planning board for a term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second.
Motion seconded by Councilor Granessi. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes, motion passes 7-0. And lastly, we have the Zoning Board of Adjustment. We had 1 member opening and we have 2 alternate openings. We did only have the 1 application for the members, so there are 2 alternate openings, if anyone is interested. And so I will move to appoint Lynn Perkins as a member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment for a term to expire March 31st, 2027.
Second.
Motion seconded by Councilor Chirichillo. On the motion, Councilor Flood,
Yes.
Councilor Granessi.
Yes.
Councilor McEachern.
Yes.
Councilor Chirichillo.
Yes.
Councilor Webb.
Yes.
Councilor Foot.
Yes.
And chair votes yes. Motion passes 7-0. Okay, we're through that book. So the next piece is the liaisons and appointments between us, and I don't know. Don't have that in here, so hold on for a moment while I find it. Is it in the front? Oh, it's way up here. Okay, I knew I'd seen it earlier. Thank you. All right, so I was just going to go through the list, those of us that have appointments, if we want to keep them, we can, or if someone really has a strong feeling they want to change, we can go through that. So last year, building and property maintenance was Counselor Foote. Do you want to stay on that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
For somebody who's
Unless-
dying to have it.
Yeah, is there anyone else that really wants it? Okay. Conservation Commission, I was on that last year. I learned really quickly that you should not be on Conservation Commission in the Derry Public Library because they, and I will also say Heritage Commission falls the same, they're the opposite. They meet at on the same nights. So I've been with Derry Public Library since the beginning, but if someone really wanted that, I will keep either one. But is there someone who would like to take the Conservation Commission?
So what night does that mean?
They meet Mondays, there's two Mondays.
So Conservation meets Monday,
Yeah.
Derry Public
Yeah,
Library
they're-
meets Monday, and what was the other one?
I believe the Heritage Commission also meets on Monday nights.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think I was just this week, so first and third. They don't always meet both, but
Thank you.
yeah. Does anyone else want to take Conservation
I'll do
Commission? Okay.
I'll volunteer.
You- Oh, I'll volunteer. I thought I said you volunteer.
No.
Okay.
I said a volunteer.
Derry Housing and Redevelopment Authority. I know Councilor Chiarichelli, you said
Yeah,
you were not.
Madam Chair, yeah, unfortunately, because they meet on Thursdays and I have other obligations, I have to sadly give it up, so.
Okay. And some.
It's one meeting a month. They usually meet for an hour.
Okay. Councilor Webb, did you want to take that one? Okay, perfect, thank you. Derry Public Library, unless somebody wants to arm wrestle me for it, I would like to keep that one. Okay, I'll keep that one. We'll have, the Fiscal Committee, Councilor McEachran, did you want to stay on there? Would you like,
If nobody
is there
else
anyone
wants
else?
Want me? I'll stay.
Heritage Commission, I think that's a once-a-month meeting as well on Monday nights. That's open because that was Councilor Katsoukaris. Is there anyone that would like to?
I'll do it.
You want to take that one? Great, thank you. Legislative Committee is currently Councilor McEachran, Councilor Granesi, and myself. Is there anyone that would like to come on to that committee?
I'm okay staying.
I'm okay staying.
Okay. I can stay on there too. Net Zero Task Force. Is there anyone that would like to, I'm currently on that one. Is there anyone that would like to take that? Okay,
You're up.
I can stay on there. Pinkerton Academy, Councilor Foote, you are on there. Do you want to stay on that one? Or do you want to, is there anyone else that wants it? Okay. Does anyone else want to take Pinkerton?
When do they meet, Charlie? Do they meet during the?
You won't be invited either way, it doesn't matter, so.
It's more just in case they reach out.
You want me to take?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
so
they
Councilor Flood, thank you. Planning Board member, we have Councilor Granesi and Councilor McEachran as an alternate.
I would like to stay if I could.
Okay.
I'm okay too.
Is there anyone else that would like to join that? Okay. Public Works, Councilor Flood, do you want to?
I want to keep that.
You want to keep that? Great. The Safety Department, that was also Councilor Katsoukaris, so we do need a new person to step into that one. They meet during the day, correct?
I can do that.
You can do that one, okay, great. School Board, Councilor Foote, you had it last year. Did you want to keep that, or did you want to, I also can take the School Board at this point, too.
It's up to you, if you want, you can have, no, I'll do it, whatever you want.
Yeah, I can take it.
And Madam Chair, if you want, I can be a backup in case you can't make it.
That sounds great, thank you.
That's okay.
Southern New Hampshire Hazardous Materials Mutual Aid District, Councilor
Yeah,
Chiarichelli.
I'll
you
keep
wanna
that one.
Great. Taylor Library, Councilor Flood,
I'll keep that.
you keep that. TIF Advisory, DCC, Councilor
keep that
Chiarichelli,
one.
keep that. And last one is TIF Advisory Gateway, Councilor McEachran. Did you
I'd
want
like to keep that.
All right. All right, then we are good on that one. Flying through here. And then the last thing under Chair's report is Lisa Hultgren is here to give us a wrap-up of the elections. So, floor is yours.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. Counselor Webb, congratulations on your new seat. And Counselor Spencer, Chair Spencer, congratulations on your new seat. Last Tuesday, we had our annual town and school elections at Pinkerton Academy, and things went really, really well. I did challenge the town to mess up our traffic and to run us out of ballots. And while they didn't do that, they did double our 10-year average, which is fantastic. We normally get about 1,600 participants out on a town and school election. And for this election, we had 3,218, which is fantastic, so that's more than double. We processed 122 by absentee ballot, and 87 of those were brand-new voters, which, from what I'm told from the supervisors of the checklist, that is also a pretty big number for town and school elections. So things are going in a positive direction. We didn't have any trouble throughout the day. When we spoke before the election, we had mentioned a new plan for candidates and sign holders to be on one side of the aisle to open up the whole walkway for people. And even though they were all in there mixed together, there were no complaints. They were perfect all day. We had no complaints. We did have one complaint from a sign holder about another sign holder, but it was resolved between them and it was perfect. So the day went really, really well. I would like to say that we did have a very large number of write-in votes. On the school election, we had 1,644 and another 219 on the town election for a total of 1,863 write-in votes, which was a considerable amount. Our last voter cast their ballot right about 10 past 8, and it took us until midnight to tally all of those votes. So I appreciate everybody for staying with us, and for Owen for making sure that there was a nice recording of that for the folks that were unable to sit through it. You can see the typing is very small. There's 5.5 pages of write-in votes. So it was considerable. I am going to call out to the public, please, please, please do not write in your husband or Mickey Mouse or Batman. It takes up a lot of time and it takes up a lot of resources. And while you are entitled to cast your ballot any way you choose and can certainly write in anybody, Mickey Mouse is not eligible to be on any seat in the town of Derry because Mickey Mouse does not live here. So please save some time and effort and taxpayer money by not doing that in the future. Also, I would like to thank the DPW for doing another phenomenal job setting up and breaking down the elections. I would like to thank every single worker that came and stayed, and all of the volunteers we had. We also had, we'd spoken about re-engaging the kids of our community to come and volunteer at the elections, and we started that at this last election. We're hoping that program will grow over time, and we had kids come act as greeters and help work the Kids Can Vote tables, which is fantastic. We also had the PTA back with us this year, also working the Kids Can Vote tables as volunteers. The school board was there. You folks were there. Thank you to everybody that came and helped the day go so super smoothly. Thank you to the Derry Police and Derry Fire. Those folks stay with us, especially the police department. They stay with us all day long, making sure the ballots get escorted back at the end of the day. As you know, this is my last moderator's report of this term, so I do want to thank each and every one of you for coming and showing up and staying with us at the elections and doing everything that we ask to help us make sure that the day goes smoothly. We are hoping that Derry continues to show up and that they continue to come out and vote and move things in a positive direction. Last but not least, I would like to thank Tina Guilford, our previous school moderator and current town clerk. She makes my job so very easy. And while she wasn't in it for very long, she started some amazing things moving forward. And she is so supportive of every crazy idea that I get to help the process go a little bit smoother. And my successor, who is here this evening, I would like to introduce David Nelson as your new Derry Town Moderator, and he is committed to also moving that process forward. Finally, we are going to make one more change moving forward on the handicap accessible side of the building. The hallway is very long, not very long for somebody who may be in a chair, but for somebody with mobility issues, walking down that hallway is pretty long. So we are hoping to add a chair for somebody that may not have one themselves, but also make the hallway accessible from maybe both ends, so that somebody wouldn't have to walk the whole length of the hallway to be able to get in and vote on the handicap side. So we still have some more positive changes coming. Derry, please continue to work to show up so that we can continue to make this better. Thank you all for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Lisa. And thank you for all of your good work as town moderator, and welcome, Dave, as well. Oh, we've got flowers. Did anyone have any questions or comments they wanted to make after Lisa's done? Okay, excellent. All right. I just want to echo Lisa's thank yous to the town that, yes, we still would love to run out of ballots someday, but having the doubling our 10-year average, I think you said, that's amazing. So thank you to everybody that came out and to everybody that worked and volunteered to help make the day successful. All right. Next up, a town administrator's report. I'll turn over to Mr. Karen.
Thank you. As required per directive of the council, notification is given about our police outside details. We update the rate every year based upon the overtime rate of the master patrol officer per our collective bargaining agreement, which also includes all benefits and an administrative fee retained by the town. So effective July 1st, the rate will be $91 per hour, and the cruiser detail rate will be $22.91, and that rate is established by the Federal Emergency Management Agency reimbursement rate. We just mirror that rate. On the central fire station construction, we were very fortunate this winter. Obviously, the skiers and snowmobiles didn't like it, but we were a little nervous about setting about doing all the site work into late fall, early winter. We lost very little time due to the weather, and now we've moved on into the foundation. Most of the footings have been constructed. The walls, the north wall, the east wall are in, half of the west wall is in, and so they're moving along. We are currently receiving bids for the remaining 5 or 6 different subcontracts, and we expect to have information on those bids in the next week or so, but definitely by the next council meeting. This is the time of year where Senator Shaheen and Congressman Pappas request projects as part of the federal budget called the Congressional Directed Spending Program. And we're focused on looking at updating the police department records management and CAD software programs. Since that time, it made more sense to partner with Londonderry and Wyndham. So all 3 communities are getting a joint request for funding for that particular program. The FY25 is in its final preparation, and we'll be making a presentation to the council at your, and just as a reminder, that week is forth in the agenda. You'll notice you'll have meetings to review the budget with a presentation on the 2nd as part of the council meeting, Thursday the 4th, and Saturday morning, April 6th. Household Hazardous Waste Day will be taking place at West Runnybrook School on June 8th from 9 to 12. We're continuing our tradition of partnering with the town of Londonderry, where it is here in Derry during the spring and over in Londonderry during the fall. So again, it's June 8th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please look at our website. There's a lot of instruction there, including what will be accepted and what should not be brought to the Household Hazardous Waste Day. And as we just discussed, it's been a pretty mild winter, but just a reminder that the winter parking ban is still in effect until April 1st. Finances, there are no significant issues to report at this time. And looking at the legislative update, we have 3 bills to report on. Senate Bill 589, which would allow for Derry to apply a surcharge to out-of-town sewer customers. That passed the Senate Committee 5-0, and the full Senate is voting on that bill on March 21st. HB 1479, the lobbying bill, we voted on by the House Representatives on Thursday, and again, we'll remind our local delegation and ask them to support a motion of inexpedient to legislate. Finally, Senate Bill 553, the directive on town investments, which would essentially restrict our investments into the public deposit investment pool. The Senate has sent that bill to the House, and we're currently awaiting a hearing before House Finance. That's all I have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions before we move on? All right, we have 2 public hearings this evening. The first one is item 2419, Resolution 2024-014, to apply for and accept grant funding to acquire hydraulic rescue equipment for the fire department. Battalion Chief Greg Larrow presenting.
Good evening, Madam Chair, councilors. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys all for the opportunity to be here presenting this subject matter to you and for the opportunity to request to go forward with applying for the AFG grant. For anybody that isn't aware, AFG is the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. It's offered through FEMA, and it's a program through the federal government to increase the capabilities of local departments. What we are applying for this year, and do you guys all have the presentation up on your screen? Yes. Okay. So I will try and move it along here and keep pace with what we're looking at. So this year, the primary objective was our hydraulic rescue equipment. So we have cutters, spreaders, and rams currently on all of our apparatus. And just in reviewing the details before I came up here, we have one spreader that I was in 5th grade when it was manufactured. So it's from 1990. So our equipment, 65% of it is over the age of 20 years old. It's certainly met, if not exceeded, its lifespan. And the newer technology that's come out offers significant benefits over what we have now. In addition to the capabilities, the portability is a huge factor for us. So currently our hydraulic tools are tethered to a gas-powered power unit, which running on gasoline is subject to all of the faults and drawbacks that come with gasoline engines. The new electronic ones are battery-powered, and they charge right in the vehicle. Let's advance the slide. There we go. So the chargers and the mounts for the equipment are built right into the vehicle. They remain fully charged the whole time that the truck is plugged in, either on shoreline power or when it's running. The capability of us being able to take essentially the power plant and the tool in one movement, one person can move that particular tool to the scene where it's needed. And I neglected to cover what we use these for. If anybody is unfamiliar, these hydraulic rescue tools are primarily used for extricating patients from vehicles that are involved in crashes. We do have other uses for them, building collapse, stuff like that, but the primary use is for vehicle extrication. So being able to get that tool along with its power plant to the scene of the car, sometimes they're 50, 100 feet out in the woods away from the trucks. Formerly, we would have to carry the power plant, the hoses, and the tools. This allows us to do it in one shot with just the tool. So we would be looking to replace our current fleet of our cache of tools with one combination spreader cutter, the 4 hydraulic spreaders, the 4 hydraulic cutters, and 2 of the rams. The rams are what you'll see in the center. Those are for spreading distances that exceed what the spreaders on the right-hand side of the picture are. So they can go up to 60 inches or so of spreading distance. Does anybody have any questions so far on what I've briefly touched on? All right. So as you'll see, this is a $156,535 grant request, 10% cost share for the town. There's money in the CIP programmed ahead of time to cover that. And unless anybody has any other questions on the hydraulic tools, we can move on after you have to do your resolution first.
I just have a quick question.
Public hearing.
Yeah, we have to
Oh,
do
public
our
hearing.
public
Right.
hearing. So, yeah, we'll
Motion
do
to
that.
open the public hearing.
All right, motion by Council Churchill to open public hearing,
Second.
second by Council McEckern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, public hearing is open. If anyone would like to speak?
Seeing none, rise online, Madam Chair.
Move to close.
He's got another half of this to
Yeah,
go.
we'll get to that.
I have a question,
We have
though.
to close this first, though.
What are you doing, one
We're-
piece
we
of
need to-
equipment at a time?
Well, we need to close, so we have a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second to close? Thank you. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So do you want to ask questions on this and then
Can I,
we'll go
Madam
on? I
Chair?
figured
Thank
we can
you.
do the
Yeah.
presentation and then the voting at the end.
I appreciate that. I'm just curious, Greg, is the old equipment, is it just, there's no useful life of it anymore, or do we keep it as a backup, or?
We do intend to keep some of it as a backup because even products that are brand new are prone to failures sometimes. So we would be keeping some of the units for backup purposes. Depending on which manufacturer we end up purchasing through, there may be some type of a trade-in value.
Okay.
But for the most part, they offer very little value.
Yep, thank you.
Question. So, thank you. On the equipment that we decide not to keep, is there some donation system nationwide that maybe there's a real small town that would nominally be able to afford something like this? I mean, we're not gonna get anything. Am I not on? Sorry. So is there some sort of a system? I mean, maybe there's some small town somewhere that could use one of them if it's no use to us and there's no resale value to it.
Understood. Yeah, I
hate to
am
think
not.
We're throwing anything out.
I'm not personally familiar with that. I'm sure there are, and I'd be happy to look into
Yeah.
that and get you guys that information.
I mean, there could be some community somewhere in the country that just can't afford it. Be nice to have, even though it's gas powered and, you know.
I had
old.
the same question. so,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, thank you, appreciate it, chief.
All right. I'll let you, why don't you finish your presentation and we'll do that public hearing, then we'll do the two resolutions together.
Move on to the EMS coats or the protective coats. So this is a significantly smaller grant request. This is on the order of 24,000. So these coats are our primary line of defense that we use on EMS calls for preventing exposure to bloodborne pathogens, chemicals, stuff like that. They are, or they were previously met the ANSI 107 2010 standard for retroreflectivity, and we use them on highway responses, stuff of that nature to demonstrate our presence in the roadway and protect our personnel. Unfortunately, these jackets took a significant hit to their lifespan during COVID because they were considered to be equal to an isolation gown. So on the majority of our EMS runs that we were responding to either known or suspected COVID patients, we were wearing these coats. They were being decontaminated on a regular basis, 1, 2, 3 times even per shift. The manufacturer's recommendation is they be replaced, removed from service and replaced after 25 washes. That was essentially 2 weeks worth of service, and these jackets are 10+ years old, some of them. So in order to replace them, they do offer a significant cost to try and do that through the operating budget. But in recognizing that they do need to be replaced, we saw this as an opportunity to move forward with pursuing that grant through the federal government for that. So we would be looking to purchase 70 of these high visibility jackets that now meet the ANSI 107 2015 standard, because the standard was updated in 2015. These do meet that standard. And we would be looking for, again, the $24,150 through the FEMA grant with a 10% cost share of $24,15. That $24,15 would be funded through the department's operating budget for that fiscal year. Any questions on the protective jackets?
No, that's pretty straightforward.
I actually do have two, Greg, surprisingly on this. With the older ones, are there any concerns? I know with the older structural gear there is, but with these jackets, are there any concerns with PFAS?
I do not know the answer to that, Counselor. It has not been brought to my attention. I've not heard anything specifically indicative that there's PFAS in these coats. We are finding that the PFAS chemicals, for anybody that's not familiar, PFAS is a chemical that's been directly linked to firefighter cancer rates. It's in our personal protective gear that we wear for structure fires. That's a known hazard. The industry is working on fixing that. Specific to these coats, I am not aware of any PFAS that's in them. But again, PFAS is in the majority of the products that we deal with in consumer life.
Thank you.
Just to piggyback on the questioning, we're not still using that PFAS foam, are we?
We are not, sir. We've actually put our PFAS-containing Class B foam under lock and key for the past 5 years.
So what replaced that?
We currently do not have a suitable replacement for Class B foam. The manufacturers are just really starting to perfect their recipe, if you will, for the Class B foam that we use. The state is still in the process of ironing out how they're going to reclaim the foam that we do have. There is a take-back program through the state that they're working on ironing out the details of how, when, and where we're going to turn that back in. But
So currently we're storing that.
we are storing it, yes.
All right.
Any other questions? All right, is there a motion to open public hearing?
So, second.
All right, motion by Council McEachern, seconded by Council Chiricello, to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public hearing is open.
Anybody, Owen?
Seeing none rise online, Madam Chair.
And seeing none rise here, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing, Madam Chair.
Second.
All right, motion by Council McEachern, second by Councilor Flood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, public hearing is closed. Any last questions? All right, thank
just have
you
a
very
comment.
much.
Just have a
Oh, sorry.
comment. No, just one comment. I just want to say, I think it's great you guys get the grants for both of them, to save some money, and I'm amazed that that other equipment lasted 20 years.
It's a
So-
testament to its manufacturer.
Yeah, and probably the people who are using it, and it's nice you guys are moving in the future with the new battery-operated equipment, because that does make a big difference if you have to lug all that stuff down to a scene where you're just taking one piece of equipment now with a battery. And the jackets you need those jackets, so I think it's positive.
Very much so.
Thank you. All right, so we have two resolutions then.
If there are no questions, I'll be happy to read the resolutions, Madam Chair. Don't see any questions. Resolution number 2024-14, to apply for and accept grant funding to acquire hydraulic rescue equipment for the fire department. Whereas Section 9.15 of the Town Charter authorizes the Town Council to apply for, accept, and expend funds received from the state and federal government. And whereas the fire department seeks to obtain hydraulic rescue equipment to enhance emergency response capabilities. And whereas the grant opportunity may provide 90% of the funding for the program, now therefore be resolved in council that the town administrator is hereby authorized to sign grant applications and agreements with the United States Department of Homeland Security for the Assistance of Firefighter Grant for up to $156,535 in project funding to purchase hydraulic rescue equipment. Further, upon successful receipt of the grant, has agents to expend, authorize, and transfer up to $15,654 from the Fire Department Capital Reserve Fund to provide the 10% local match. The resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage.
Second.
All right, motion by Council McEachern, second by Council Chiricello. Any other questions? All right, on the motion, Councilor Flood?
Yes.
Councilor Grassy?
Yes.
Council McEachern?
Yes.
Council Chiricello?
Yes.
Councilor Webb?
Yes.
Councilor Foot?
Yes.
And chair votes yes, passes 7-0. And then we have
There are
this
no
one.
questions for number 2. I'll read that.
No.
Doesn't look like any. Resolution 2024-015, to apply for and accept grant funding to acquire EMS jackets for the fire department. whereas Section 915 of the Town Charter authorizes the council to apply for, accept, and expend funds received from the state and federal government, and whereas the fire department seeks to replace EMS jackets to enhance safety for its personnel, and whereas a grant opportunity may provide 90% of the funding for this program, now therefore be it resolved in council that the town administrator is hereby authorized to sign grant applications and agreements with the United States Department of Homeland Security for the Assistance to Firefighters Grant for up to $24,150 in project funding to purchase replacement EMS jackets. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
Second.
All right, motion by Council McEachern, seconded by Councilor Ganesi. On the motion, Councilor Flood?
Yes.
Councilor Ganesi?
Yes.
Council McEachern?
Yes.
Council Chirichillo?
Yes.
Council Webb?
Yes.
Councilor Foot?
Yes.
And chair votes yes, 7-0. There is one more thing that I forgot to do when we were doing way back here on boards and commissions. The Derry Public Library, the trustees are voted in, their alternates are recommended by the trustees to the town council, and we have to approve them. So they did meet last night and had those alternates. So I would like to make a motion to appoint Merrill Zussman and Victoria Austin, who are both current alternates, back on as alternates to the Derry Public Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
All right, so motion, second by Council McEachern. On the motion, Council Flood?
Yes.
Council Ganesi?
Yes.
Council McEachern?
Yes.
Council Chirichillo?
Yes.
Council Webb?
Yes.
Councilor Foot?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. 7-0. Any councilor comments? Yes.
Just an update for the planning board. Tomorrow night, there's going to be a meeting regarding the Derry Plumbing Heating Building that's going in Schutz's Corner. And Brian Fishman was an alternate, and he's been doing very well on the board, and he's been learning by everybody on the board. So we made him a regular member tonight, so that's good. In the first meeting in April, they'll be doing their vote for chairman and vice chair and stuff like that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Council Chirichillo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I want to thank Councilor Foot for a successful year being chair. I thought that it was a very good year, and I want to thank him for being chair. That's number one. Number two, I would like to request, I don't need it now, but maybe in the next couple of meetings, a Hood Park update. I had some constituents ask me about it, and I had nothing to go by, so I just told them I'd find an update on those. And then lastly, I just want to point out one thing. You know, there's a lot of misinformation going around about the school budget, and that, you know, the school budget was cut. I just want to point out one thing. Last year, the school budget was $99,300,000 or $360,000. This year, even though it was a default budget, it went up to $102,700,000. So that's not a cut in school budget. That's still an increase, folks. Yeah, I get it's default budget, and maybe it's a cut of a of what it could have been. But if you take last year at 99 million and you go to 102, that's an increase of about 3.5%. So I just want to point that out, and thank you very much.
You know? Great. I'd also
like to echo the comments, and thank you to Chairman Foot for a great year, and look forward to serving with you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I also, you guys stole my thunder, but I also wanted to thank Councilor
You want me to
Foot.
take it back?
No, I'm, the more the merrier. No, I want to thank you for a great year. I learned a lot working with you and hope to continue to do so. And thank you. Thank you for setting that threshold. And I also just wanted to let everyone know that we are doing our rabies clinic again. We're looking to double again this year, maybe from before. But that will be on April 6th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. In the lobby downstairs here at the Municipal Center.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.